Hoolay is harder. You know what's harder? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, today we're gonna be doing a very, very special kind of tier list. But I do feel that this tier list is extremely important because it kind of speaks to a greater understanding of Honkai Starbucks endgame, and that is gonna be the bosses. We are going to be not just ranking them, right? Not just ranking them in terms of whether they're difficult or they're hard or whatever. We're also gonna be going through some of their mechanics. Maybe check and help me out as well, because I'm gonna keep it about I can't remember all their mechanics. Like, I straight up can't remember what the hell is Svarog. Or rather, Firefly, right? I know we have to spend skill points, so we're gonna go through this together as a team, as a family. So hopefully you guys can also have a greater understanding of the end game and the bosses themselves. I would say they are roughly 80% of the reason why your units feel like shit. Why your team feels like they got power creep. I would say these are the reason players feel this way, or at least the majority reason. And then the other 15%-ish is gonna be the MOC debuff, right? I'm only gonna be talking about Memory of Chaos, so it's gonna be the MOC buffs and debuffs. And then finally is the actual unit itself. Maybe this percentage can go down a little bit here and there. Maybe it's not 80, it's like 70 or 70 or 60, right? I can adjust. But I would say this constitutes the majority of the reason why your unit doesn't feel as good as compared to last time. So you want to just take a look at this over here, right? So luckily for us, we do have this data bank, so you can actually look at the enemy creatures, guys. Whoa! So you want to see Fantilas, Giants, Bobas. Whoa! Very good. I made this down yesterday, which is, I do believe that the Nikador boss, it is, for me at least, a little bit easier, or at least a lot easier compared to OG Aventurine, despite HP inflation. HP inflation in the endgame content is very, very real, right? The HP, they are getting higher and higher. It increases. You need to deal more damage to kill the boss and all that kind of stuff. It's very real. But the difficulty and whether or not this guy is a problem for your team, that depends on the actual boss mechanics. I felt that he was easier than Aventurine because his mechanic was actually pretty intuitive for players as long as you interacted with the mechanics, right? If you were to go ahead and see what this guy does, right? He has the wall armor, the glory, as well as the little spears that come from the side. The spears, every single time you break them, is 13.5% of his max HP. Despite the fact that bro has like 3 million HP for one phase. And every single time you break his wall armor at either 7 stacks or 12 stacks, you also deal percentage max HP of his entire body. It is a little bit like Blade of the Ruined King, right? Even though tanks have like 10,000 million HP, like if you're Scion and Cho'Gath have like 10,000, but the moment you build in like an anti-tank item, like BOTRK, you will melt them no matter what, right? So this is sort of a similar concept. Mechanics other than that would be to include, if you're going to be running Fu Xuan, do be aware that, unless she's built different, she's gone, right? So other sustains would probably be preferred over Nikador. And this is just one example of the every single endgame boss design that Honkai Starbucks have gotten for the past couple of miracles. And I think this whole topic, it hasn't really been touched on upon that much in the community, right? Because frankly speaking, it's probably a boring concept, right? Players don't really care about the boss. They only care about the units. They want to care about who to pull, best value, best light cone, E1 or E0, team comps. I hope that this video can bring about a greater understanding to the mechanics that are introduced specifically in MOC, in Pure Vision, APOC, all that kind of stuff. Same thing. But let's just jump in right now. Starting from Cocolia. I have not seen Cocolia in a Mach 12 for a very, very long time. Usually, she's sort of like the boss that is like the boss before the boss, right? I think you usually see her pretty frequently at probably Mach 10, maybe 9. It has been a very long time since I've seen Cocolia in Mach 12. I think the last time I saw in 12 was probably way back in the days with like Super Break Silverwolf. There was this one stage, the original OG release of the Break Dinosaur. This shell of faded rage, also known as Dinosaur, right? I think this was the last time I saw an MOC 12 Cocolia. I still remember this was when Break Shui was getting pretty popular with Silverwolf to deal incredible toughness bar damage. And then this was the wave 1 enemy. And then wave 2, it was Cocolia plus this dinosaur. Alright. So yep, I played this game a lot, right? So I think ever since then, we haven't really seen a Cocolia fight for a pretty substantial amount of time, if I can recall correctly, right? So I would say that for her specifically, I wouldn't say she's super easy. Actually, you know what? I would kind of feel that if they made her to be skilled up in a MOC 12 variant, I would classify her as pretty mid. The main mechanics that Cocolia has was she summons the ice pillar, she has like infinite turns and she freezes you, and then she starts bunkaiing, right? She starts charging up. Charge, and then she lets go of the AoE, you might be cooked because it is a ridiculous amount of damage, right? And then you counter this mechanic by breaking her before then. Also, sometimes in SU, for example, she has a Bronya. So if I were to imagine like the modern day Cocolia, they could cook up a Cocolia boss, Bronya side grade as a support, and then like one more elite. Because apparently in this current Memory of Chaos 12, there has been the first time ever 3 elite enemies in one wave. Right? One boss with 2 elites. So I wouldn't be too surprised in the future if they scale up Cocolia. This could even become hard. Because Bronya I think Bronya is the only other time that it actually appears with her mom. So very, very annoying. She cleanses all debuffs. She freezes you. And the thing with freeze, right, is you have to cleanse it. It's not like Imprison on like Quantum Entanglement where it delays and then by the time your turn begins, you can go again. No, you have to cleanse this freeze, otherwise your turn just gets skipped. Exactly how like you freeze the enemy, and then your next turn you can go up by a little bit for the 50% action value. You want to cleanse this, so pretty annoying. And if you were using units like Aventurine, Aventurine gives you effect rest. He doesn't give you what? Freeze rest or like a guaranteed cleanse, right? So if you do get frozen against Cocolia while using Aventurine, it's gonna be quite rough. It's gonna be quite rough, right? And then if you want to use full strength against Cocolia, if you cannot break her in time and she summons the giant AoE, if they scale Cocolia to MOC 12, you better have a pretty wide full. So for example, for me personally, right, in order to future-proof my full strength, I've ensured that she's very, very wide. She is extremely wide. 10,000 HP wide. So just to kind of, you know, make sure that she doesn't die too fast. And also, I'm running the 2-piece Watering Waves just for a little bit more of the damage reduction, right? That's how wary I am, right? Absolutely. Okay, Fujian, shut the fuck up. Don't know if we're going to be seeing her in the future, but she is pretty annoying. I think the chance of her coming back is probably quite small because in the lore, she's dead, right? And usually MOC 12, they want to promote the new story, right? They want to promote new story bosses, new boss designs. Maybe at most they do a little bit of a throwback, but you know, she's dead. So the chance of her coming back is not that high, right? Any case, Gepard. Now, Gepard does appear in MOC 12. At least more than Cocolia. I would feel that he is definitely on the easier side of things, at least compared to Cocolia. The most annoying thing about him is that sometimes he hits your same target twice consecutively, right? Punch 1 followed by punch 2. And if it hits the same guy twice, your abundance sustains might not be enough to save it. But damage-wise, it's not that much. She doesn't really deal that much damage over the course of battle. He does this one giant slam in the name of preservation on the banana. He jumps and slams you down, but it's not a ridiculous amount of damage. He is more like a stall guy, right? He creates this shield, you have to kind of break them and all that kind of stuff. So difficulty-wise, I would definitely park it to below Cocolia. Maybe even super easy, but I will adjust this tier list as we go along, right? So I want to see this always in comparison to the other units. He has toughness lock. How does Gepard's toughness lock work again? Don't you just kill the goons? Okay, yeah, when he does a shield, he has toughness lock, right? Then you just deal as much damage as humanly possible and then thing pops. And then it's done. Okay, yeah, I will still bug it as easy then. I think like there isn't really like a direct counter because I think pretty much every single team can work very well with Gepard. Kind of similar to Cocolia, right? For Cocolia, you really want to cleanse. For Gepard, it's kind of like, it's whatever. Like most teams, as long as you're on the right element, match the color. If you're imaginary, if you're physical, you match the color, you pretty much got it done, right? You pretty much got it done. Right, that's pretty much it. Okay, Svarog. I wouldn't say Svarog is hard, but he is fucking annoying. He is fucking annoying. Okay, he is one of the only bosses, and I think Svarog's memory is very fresh. We literally just did Svarog. He has a built-in action value delay, and he has the goddamn hand. And if you play Honky Starbucks a lot and you speed tuned your team to the precise speed you want, this guy will ruin your day. And I cannot stress how many times has my day been ruined by his fucking action value delay as well as that goddamn hand, bro. Like, holy shit. Yep. It's just really, really annoying. But I wouldn't say it's too difficult. The reason why I say it's not too difficult is because Svarog as a unit, he actually gives you quite a bit of energy. And he doesn't do that much damage. Specifically, his rocket. He shoots out the AoE. He gives actually like a ridiculous amount of energy for your team. And that's honestly a pretty good thing. And you can cut in right after the rocket. He summons a hand, he shoots the rocket, and then the hand comes and grabs you. At any point of time before the hand grabs you, if you get the energy from the rocket and you cut in and you break Svarog, the hand just don't move. So I don't think he's very difficult, but he's just really fucking annoying if he messes up your life and he just ruins your day. It's just that he's just a guy that, you know, is annoying, an annoying fuck. Also, don't really have a particularly effective unit. I think pretty much as long as you match the color, you're good to go. If you're playing Braid Team, you don't even need to match, you're good to go. Right? Same thing for all these units. For Gepard, I think Braid Team might be a little bit sussy because of the toughness lock. Not too good for Braid Team. But for these two, I feel like match the colors, you are pretty much G, right? Okay, Kafka. Let me dig back my memory a little bit, because I remember Kafka was probably 3 or 4 patches back. I think our last MOC 12 Kafka was the site with Facial, right? It was the one where I did a 0 cycle on Box Who's account. I 0 cycled with the worst HS. I think if my memory is correct, this is the one. Yep. This was our last MOC 12, right? I have played these games before. Right? I am super dedicated to Honky Starbucks. I kind of remember, roughly speaking, when these kind of stuff happened. This was the last MOC 12 with Kafka. On Facial's banner, I would say that the Kafka boss, it's either you deal enough damage to her to the point where she doesn't even move, or you have a Huan Huan. Huan Huan was exceptionally good against Kafka, because the way of how Kafka's mind control work, right? The moment she hits you into a mind, it's always a basic into a mind control, and then the second attack is like AoE 1, AoE 2, and the last attack is he does another hit, and then it's gonna be the grenades, the big grenades, and then the cycle repeats out all over again, right? These 3 attack patterns. If you have a Huan Huan and she mind controls your unit, the unit that gets mind controlled, they get pulled up instantly in the action value. So they immediately take action. But if you have the cleanse from Huan Huan, it's as if they just get an extra turn. So I don't think there's any other unit that synergizes that well specific to Kafka's mechanic. So Huan Huan is exceptionally good with Kafka. If you did not have Huan Huan, the mind control could be a little bit annoying. So for example, right, Luocha, he has mind control cleanse, right? You just press your E, you cleanse. But the thing is, mind control doesn't do any damage. So if you want your Luocha to cleanse that fucker, you actually have to manually heal that guy. And by the time that happens, the guy would have been mind controlled anyways. Aventurine is like 50-50. You either get mind control or you don't get mind control. So it's basically a game buff, right? It's basically a game buff. And then Fu Xuan, she resists it 1 time. So that's decent enough. Ling Sha, unfortunately, kind of the same problem with the Luocha, right? You can't really heal unless it drops below a certain caliber to trigger the emergency bunny. You could try to time your ultimate. Right after she does the thing, right? So aside from that, I would say that Buzz never fails me, absolutely. I think she's also pretty straightforward. Yeah, I think she's pretty straightforward. A little bit, I would say she's less than Svarog, because in the same caliber as Svarog, she has a lot of AoE, which means she generates a lot of energy for your entire team. And it's not like she does a shit ton of damage. These bosses that we see so far, all these early bosses, they don't really do that much damage. It is just kind of mechanics that could make you feel more annoyed with your life. You don't really feel the danger, right? You don't really feel the danger of encountering these bosses. And more like, shit, my day is just a little bit more annoying, right? So that's pretty much gonna be it. Yanqing, Mr. 万剑天来. I would say Yanqing is gonna be our either top of mid or our first hard boss. Yep, I respect bro a lot. Chat, he is not super easy. Because remember that Super Break can't work against bro. He is toughness locked until you break all the swords. And the swords are an RNG. So if you don't match the right element, you have to slowly chip away at the swords until it hits the right element. You have to slowly chip away at the swords, and only then can you try to break down his toughness bar. On top of that, he has the freeze and the giant AoE. If you do not match the right elements, it will be a lot more annoying. You can implant and Reba doesn't care. He's super easy, just match the colors. He dies before the AoE anyways. His swords kill him on top of your own damage. Reba and Acheron easy clap him. To be fair, I feel like Reba and Acheron just claps like almost everyone in their moms. The only annoying thing is his freeze. He got power crap. Oh, I already know where's Aventurine going, so like, we don't even need to discuss about it. Blade can zero cycle him. Okay, you know what? Okay, chat thinks he's super easy. I don't think it's super easy. I just think you know, because when I play against Yanqing, the colors just don't match, and I have to take like a long ass time to break the sword one by one, and it's not even like you clear with the same element. The swords themselves, they are from different elements. And even if you break one sword, the remaining swords will still be their respective elements. So you have to match for like everything. Unless you are using Acheron to just brute force and just kill all the swords in one shot. So it's not even just match the element. It's like you have to match all the elements. Which is... I think it's more annoying. But hey, if y'all think it's super easy, sure. If y'all think it's super easy. DOT clears him. To be fair, he is weak to wind and lightning. So DOT definitely does clear him. The last time we had a Yanqing MOC 12, oh my god, it might be Black Swan's banner actually. It was Black Swan 2.0. Bro, my memory is actually so good, it's scary. Yeah, it's quite literally been almost a year since we've seen Yanqing. I would say if they want to scale him up towards modern MOC 12, if they ever do it one day, and DOT can come back again. But your D Herta, oof, it might not be too good. Eyes rest, and even if he was 5 target, it might be a little bit. It depends on how thick the ice swords are gonna be. Because the ice sword is literally you break or you die. Or you either break it or you have to deal like a ridiculous amount of damage. So even if you're running D Herta with like 3B, I think it could be pretty annoying. Aglaya, I think it can still function. But then you will have to brute force the other swords as well. Yep, okay, if chatting is super easy, sure. I think we just copy it super easy, right? I don't think Aurumaton has been in a mock 12 boss, right? We can classify him as mid, I would say. I don't think he's really like a boss though. He's like an elite. Holy shit. 1.5. Oh, back in those days, we didn't even have run May, guys. I would say Aurumaton is pretty mid. Mechanics wise, not too difficult as well. You just have to count. Yep, that's the mechanic. You just count. Count the number of stacks that he has on top. In case you guys didn't know, right? Like, if you go into your data bank, this on top of his head right here, there's these 3 yellow things. Upon the 3rd yellow bar, he will then activate the sanction mode, and then he will summon the goldfish and his toughness lock. So you literally just have to count and make sure that this 3rd bar either never happens or it happens during his turn, so he wouldn't randomly jump on you, right? That is his most annoying mechanic. He's the bane of Super Break though. I have played the games where we ran Boot Hill, Reba, and Firefly against this motherfucker. If he goes into Sanction mode, Super Break is really cooked. Very bad against him. He is kind of like the hard counter for Super Break actually. I would say he is mid. If you can kind of get past his man. Actually, you know what? I think it's more annoying than Svarog. The imprison that jumps on you is almost guaranteed imprison, and it deals like a pretty considerable amount of damage. So if they ever build him up to be like the same scale as Svarog, he will be scary. It's just that he hasn't gotten the scale of Svarog, right? Because it's been like 20 billion years. Nowadays, he's skilled as an elite. He is no longer classified as a boss, right? If he was to be a boss, I think he's gonna be scarier than Svarog. He might even one-shot you if they actually scale the damage. On top of that, the imprison, right? The actual imprison, you can't cleanse. The action value delay created from the imprison is set in stone. So the moment you get imprisoned, you're gone. Even if you do a Hue cleanse or whatever, the action value has already been delayed. So it would have changed nothing. The only way you prevent this is either if you resist it, which is ridiculously hard, or you're running fusion. Then you can actually prevent the share. So I would say it's the top of mid. And if they make it actually scale, I kind of want to see what this looks like in like an MOC 12, like an actual boss Aurumaton. Ebon Deer. Most of us would know bro from Pure Fiction. I think he has appeared a lot of times in Pure Fiction, but he hasn't appeared in our... Yeah, it's been 1.6, guys. It has been up since... He has been gone since Kafka. But nowadays, he's essentially delegated to a Pure Fiction boss. In Pure Fiction, I think he's pretty straightforward. Somewhat similar to Argenti before all of the HP inflation, right? You kill all the branches, eventually you're gonna kill him anyways, it's gonna be fine. Ebon Deer, as a boss mechanic, he has a lot going for him though. Because the different branches also have different mechanics. He has the heal branch. He has the branch that counter attacks. He has the branch that has the enrage, which means your unit just goes schizo and just randomly does their thing. There's also one, I think it's a one-shot. Where I encountered this in SU way back in the days, where he starts charging up, and I think he also has a weakness lock, right? He has weakness lock. He will charge up, and he lets go of this giant, massive AoE, and you just die. And this is not even considering the fact that you have fusion. Even if you have fusion, I'm pretty sure you just get nuked. It was like a ridiculous damage. Especially back in Swarm D Threshold 8. It was a very, very destructive one-shot attack. So it's like 2,400 heals and shot. Yeah, I think he's very, very well designed though. To counter bro, because he's weak to what? Fire Quantum Ice, right? Yep, Fire Quantum Ice, Lightning Rest, Wind Rest, Frozen Rest, Imprisonment Rest. Dierda will do very good. Alright, Dierda will fit in perfectly actually, because he's gonna summon the branches and then she's gonna help us give the AoE. I actually wouldn't be too surprised if they revive Ebon Deer in the future, because this would be a pretty good boss target for Dierda. So he summons the branches and you can shield for the mob environment once again. So I might not be surprised in the MOC 11 or 12 next time we encounter Ebon Deer again, specifically with this Ice Week. Oh wait, bro is also Quantum Weak. Yo, I think it's coming back, guys. It's like Dierda, Tribi, Casteris. I actually think bro might be coming back. I haven't seen him yet in the creator server for Mod 12. But I actually wouldn't be sorry. Total number of times if you get 303 is a little bit diabolical, right? I think bro might be making a comeback. To counter this guy, killing the branches are very, very important, right? Because I think one of the charge up move is that the number of branches, the golden fruits, right? The number of times the number of fruits remain on the field increases his damage. And if it's like, I don't know by how many amount, he one-shots you. So it is quite annoying. Can we put him as the first heart? Hell nah, he's free AF. He dies too fast. He is legit easier than Yanqing. Okay, so you guys think he's easy? Sure. I mean, I'm open. Because to be fair, we haven't really fought with MOC 12 for like a long ass goddamn time. Only because dice tools are okay, easy. Hoolay. We have been up against Hoolay back in the days, and he is currently in rotation as well. Apparently, bro is so hard. People think this guy is harder than MOC 12. I think it is quite fair to say he's our first hard. Is it? Okay, who thinks he's not hard? He's super easy, phase out clears. Okay, chat. Saying that one unit clears doesn't mean he's not hard. That is not how you judge this guy. 2 units counter him super hard for the rest. Okay, there's no way anyone says this guy is hard. I will go into it a little bit. I will go into these motherfuckers in a little bit. Okay, I'm putting Hoolay hard. Right? For the benefit of mankind, I will put Hoolay hard. So Hoolay's mechanic is he summons wolves, right? And then there's these like the wolf state, the owl state, right? And when he reaches the owl state, he gets like 5,000 speed, and it goes like a ridiculous amount of time. 2 main units hard counter this guy. Aventurine hard counters him. Yanqing hard counters him. They are quite literally built for Hoolay. I would argue Yanqing was probably designed with Hoolay in mind. They were probably designed in the same patch. Hey, yo, how can we sell Yanqing? Oh shit, let's make this guy like Hoolay. Boom, done. I'm pretty sure this was made to be the Yanqing show, right? So this is the... In fact, I don't think there's any other boss we have in Honkai Star Boss right now that attacks as frequently as Hoolay. Very, very good for mechanics that rely on counter. But unfortunately, if he's not there, then it means that, you know, Yanqing as a unit, she starts to slowly fall off a little bit because they just don't hit as frequently as Hoolay. Wind Physical Fire Weak, which also just so happened that because he's weak to fire and wind, who else is a wind and fire team? Fart. Alright, our general Topaz, full of teams, exceptional damage as well. Not a very comfortable experience if players didn't have these units, because you can't really play around the mechanics, right? It's not a very interactive mechanic. You know what I'm saying? A interactive mechanic, I would say, is something like, Aurumaton, you see the numbers and you can try to play around it, right? Nikador, he throws the little spears at you, you can try to play around it. This guy, you can't really play around it that much. You either fight or be forgotten. Just because bro is 8 times weak to Aventurine and Yanqing doesn't mean he isn't hard. Okay, so we can agree that Hoolay is pretty hard. Yeah, he's a pretty hard guy. He's a pretty big and hard guy. So, aside from these, I feel like Huan sustain will still be, I think it's still manageable, especially since we are going to be running Huan and Yanqing. So Huan and Yanqing bubble will still be very good. And since nowadays we have Sunday, the team comp itself, it will start to take shape a lot more. Lingsha will most likely be still very, very good against bro as well, with the cleanse and everything. So I feel like in terms of the sustain development, a lot of sustains are going to be kind of okay. Just that Aventurine is exceptionally comfortable with Hoolay. Right? Very, very comfortable, right? Lingsha gets cooked. Why does Lingsha get cooked? Lingsha, she attacks too often. At E0, she doesn't heal frequently enough. Lingsha's E1 doesn't even change the thing, right? It's just the weakness rate, efficiency, and defense down. You don't get like a new bunny, right? The efficiency matters. Actually, the efficiency Okay, you know what? We can agree to disagree. I'm open, right? This is a subjective tier list kind of thing, because, Yep, absolutely. Regardless, Hoolay hard. Okay, this the puppet boss, I would say he's super fucking easy. Bro's direct counter is a unit that everyone has. Run May and Super Break. Everyone and their moms in Honkai Starbucks has got them Super Break. You have a Super Break. You have a Super Break. You have... Everyone playing this game has Super Break. So if you are having a problem with this boss, I have no idea what's going on. Because quite literally everyone has the comp that counters, bro. Super Break. Himeko, Rappa, Firefly, maybe even Bulio can work against bro if you have Fagyu, right? So, yep, this is basically a Super Break check. Name the tier Super Break, bro. Yep, okay, this is basically very, very easy. And on the same note, I would say this boss is probably the easiest, one of the easiest boss in Honkai Starbucks. This guy has more buffs than my supports. If you actually read. If you learn to make sure that you hit the TVs and such that they actually give the buffs, he gives me more energy than Huan. He gives me more action value than Babin, and he gives me more attack buffs than like all my supports combined. This guy is a support in disguise, bro. If you can read it, you don't even need Akron. You can run any units that can basically try to match up the TV. You can make it work. And going forward into the future, since they are also shilling erudition content, Herda is gonna be perfectly fine with this guy as well, right? Even Aglaya is gonna be perfectly fine, right? Bro is literally the punching bag of the current team comps. I think it's super, super straightforward. Sometimes you don't even need to read. Like, just hit as much as you can, and then just make sure that the TV, they are happy. As long as they are happy, you are happy, and everyone is happy. That's pretty much it, right? This is probably the easiest boss I've ever seen in my entire life, right? Okay, Memory Zone meme. I remember bro's first appearance. It was to shield DOT. It was to shield Dr. Ratio with Topaz way back in the days. But what's even more important, this was the only fucking boss that gave your team a full energy refresh. No other boss we have right now that the moment you enter into phase 2, you get this full 100% energy refresh. I thought I was playing Apoc Shadows for a second, right? And that mechanic basically makes his phase 2 essentially non-existent. Aventurine does give you a full energy. Okay, that's not his second phase. That's the dice mechanic. And I'm gonna jump into that in a little bit, right? We're gonna jump the dice mechanic in a little bit. But this guy, I think his phase 2 essentially does not exist. The moment you get into phase 2, you pretty much would almost 100-0, bro. Pretty straightforwardly, right? Pretty straightforwardly. Also, I'm pretty sure Firefly will beat the ever-living file of this guy. So once again, another super great punching bag, right? He kidnaps 2 characters. Okay, the thing is the characters that he kidnaps, right? You can also sort of control the characters that he kidnaps. The characters that X gets kidnapped. So you can still play around it, right? You can still play around it. I will put him in easy. He isn't stupid. I've seen many wipes to meme. Alright, Sarah says so, and therefore Sarah is always right. Alright, okay, done. Okay, oh, wait, wrong boss. Oh shit, my bad. Okay, Argenti. I'm gonna put bro hard. I think he's pretty hard. Because he is one of the... Okay, chat, I'm not even sure if you guys are aware. He is one of the few bosses that we have encountered that got nerfed. This is the post-nerf Verdun. I think there are 3 bosses in HSR history that got nerfed. Argenti, Aventurine, as well as Nikador, right? These 3 bosses, I think they're the only 3 bosses that have been nerfed. I'm not sure if Hoolay got nerfed as well. But yep, I think Argenti will be up in the hard category. The reason is because you sometimes don't really know if you can afford to. Because this was back in those days, right? Back in those days, we didn't have units like Gepard yet. So you couldn't just press the middle guy and every one of the mobs die. You actually had to decide. He is physical, fire, and ice. So nowadays with Gepard, I don't think players will face any issue, right? Because you can just aim the middle guy and you are pretty much good to go. But back in those days, your ice DPS was Jingliu. Your fire DPS was Topaz. Right, you could run your super break Himeko, right? You got classic super break. I think bro can still, but if you didn't break, even for Firefly, you had to choose between the thingies. And the most annoying thing about, at least in my experience playing super break, is that if you couldn't break that shield, I felt this a lot when I was playing Boot Hill, right? If you couldn't break the guy that gives a shield and he gives him a shield, it ruins your entire rotation. And it was like, it was really, really annoying. His AoE damage afterwards, it also adds on pretty substantially. I have seen quite a decent number of white before with bro. So, yeah, I would personally run... Yep, he's just going to beauty all over you and then just beauty all over yourself. So, I would rank bro as hard. Probably not as hard as Hoolay, but I think around the same caliber. I think it's fair if Argenti is hard. Hoolay... Nope, there's one super hard. And I already know who's a super hard. I'm saving the slot for super hard. Hoolay is harder. You know what's harder? Okay, Sam. It has been a long ass time. Bro last appeared with Yanqing. Angry girlfriend. He's one of the few bosses that I actually cannot really remember his mechanic. From what I remember is you spend skill points, you attack him, and the pointer of the thingy goes down up until 6, and then he has the winners unlocked again. So he was made to shield for Sparkle and Aventurine. That was like my impression of Sam. But the thing is, back then, I had E2 deal. So I shit on this guy, this girl, all day, every day. So I didn't really feel that much of a difference. I didn't really need to read that much because, you know, hell E2 deal, hell deal. He's also at the toughness of first 2 turns and it's super annoying. He don't do no damage. To be fair, bro does no damage, right? When he does flies out and does set a sea ablaze, he does very low damage. You actually could sustain pretty well with a lot of stuff. Even though the burn was kind of a little bit scary, right? You felt that your HP was always low, but he actually doesn't deal that much. He is below Hoolay, harder than Argenti. Okay, okay. If we are so you guys all skipped E2 deal then. So all y'all skipped E2 deal. She wants payback. Girl being hard. Abundance is hard. Even E0 deal shit on him. Skill point chat. Half of your team don't use skill point. It's super annoying when you can't heal. Deal is mid and dead. I'm gonna cry. He also lowers healing to 10%. Then just use preservation. Use fusion. March 8 destroyed Sam. Okay. Yep. I'm gonna save this guy towards the end because I want to beat this in order. Okay, True Swarm. Very fresh. Current boss right now. First half. I think True Swarm might be one of our most common boss actually. True Swarm appeared like a ridiculous amount of times, right? Wait, only once? I feel like I fought bro a lot. Okay, it might just be recency bias then. Yeah, I don't know why. For some reason, I felt that we fought with True Storm like a lot of times. In DU and SU. Okay, maybe it's because of SU, yeah. The Nikador is the MOC 10 version, not the MOC 12 version. The gold one is the MOC 12 version. Oh, okay. Okay, shit. Because I have executive account managers, I don't even know what MOC 10 version is like. I would say True Storm is probably a little bit more towards the high, easy, low, mid category. Okay, you know what? I'll put it high, easy. The reason why is because he summons his bugs. The AoE damage is not a concern. The damage is the Haktoa. If he changed his spit with his other bugs spit and they all spit at the same guy consecutively, there was no counterplay. You basically just die straight up. It was a little bit too much damage. But if you can break the bugs, especially, you know, last time we had a shorter, it helps to soften up his shell by a lot. So just keep breaking the bugs, and eventually the vulnerability on this guy will be so high, you'll just see like ridiculous numbers, like 1 million single target for like E0, A0, all that kind of stuff. So until you get to that high vulnerability stack, he was pretty annoying. Aside from that, I would still say he's very, very manageable. right? And the DOT, yeah, the DOT stacks on and he does that. He deals a lot of damage. But if you can kind of pray and get a breathe, or you run Huan, right? Or like cleanse and kind of stuff, I don't think it's too straightforward. All right, MOC 10 Nikador is harder than MOC 12 because he is still tanky in MOC 10, but doesn't spawn spears. Wait, MOC 10 is harder than MOC 12? We'll put this here based on my chat because my executive account managers cleared it for me. I will figure this out in the video after this. Oh wait, chat is dented. Oh, I got one guy. Okay, you know what? Hey, Sarah, hit me up. It's about the same as MOC 12 Nikador. Okay, if I were to rank MOC 12 Nikador, I'll probably put him like the bottom of Harden. Okay, and then like I mentioned, this is direct relation with my post over here. If you guys have a problem with Nikador because bro has like 7 million HP, read his mechanics, break his spears, basically try reading and play around it instead of trying to brute force a 7 million HP boss, right? And then it gets a lot easier, which finally brings to, in my opinion, the only super hard boss in Honkai Starbucks. This fuck. In my opinion, in my genuine opinion, this is the only hard boss, right? Where is bro? He is so fucking hard. 10 Stone Hearts Aventurine of Stratagems. In my opinion, this is the hardest boss in MOC, right? And let me explain. The first time bro spawned out, people didn't know that you could skip phase 2. And the phase 2's die stage, it was built to stall. He is the only boss in HSR that can potentially stall forever. If you didn't deal enough damage per wave, he would legit waste the entire cycle of you just dealing 0 damage. And if your team cannot fulfill the requirements for the dice, your team will just get gunned down. Straight up. It will just all get gunned down over time. Because you are dealing almost no damage to him while he's continuously dealing damage, especially to your supports. Because all of our supports, as well as to most of our sustains, right now, they have no AoE, right? Maybe when Tribute comes out, that will change because Tribute has AoE attack. But back in those days, all these supports, all these harmonies, all that, they cannot protect themselves. So they will always get hit. So even if you were running a sustain like Fusion or whatever, it's still gonna slowly brew down if you cannot get to his actual HP, right? If you cannot get to his actual HP. Then the buff for his initial launch, the very first buff, it was every 6 attacks, it deals a percentage max HP to this guy. The amount of times that I've seen people wasting this MOC buff on the dice, it was staggering. Because even if you could read, right, and this is considering that people could actually read, they read and try to time this 6 attacks to be landed on bro, it was just not possible. It was simply just not possible. Either they ran out of skill points, they had to skill and they just ran out of skill points, so they had to attack, or, you know, there's no other way, which means they would end up wasting that percentage max energy. So that was for his phase 2, which in my opinion is like the most goddamn disgusting phase 2 that I've seen in Honkai Starbucks. His phase 1, it was okay, except that he has an AoE energy steal. So usually, I don't think there's ever been another enemy that has this mechanic where he drains your team's energy from hitting your entire team. I think you will really feel it, especially when you try running the Herta wave, bro. Because if you cannot get in the energy required for the very first wave, he's gonna drain. And usually you wouldn't use your Herta's ultimate on the very first wave unless you prepare the ultimate from wave 1. So when you go into wave 2, there's no mobs, right? There are literally no mobs. He is a single target guy, and his AoE content is like the dices. TV boss if you fail to read. The TVs, I guess. Okay, that's true. Yeah, the TV. Yeah, if you make the TV angry, then they also steal energy. That's true. Yeah, that's true. But in conclusion, I think bro is the most difficult boss in Honkai Starbucks. That's pretty much it. And with that, I think I'll come to the end of this boss tier list maker. Right? Memory of Chaos boss tier list maker. They nerfed his damage from the first time he was here. Argenti and Nikador, these 3 are the only bosses that got nerfed to my knowledge. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I'm gonna be testing out MOC 10 after I end off this video. Word of the day is going to be bust. Join Twitch, join YouTube, join Discord, join TikTok, and join Twitter. All the best for your gacha pools. And I'll see you guys next time.